Hi friends, Evangelist Garrett. I have a message for any young men that might be listening to me. I'm only 42 years old, but I've been married for 17 years to the same woman. I have 3 children. I'm a Christian. I want to share something with you because it's hard to be a young man out there today. And the world is telling you that in order to succeed, you go after your dreams and let us make a name for ourselves. It gets harder and harder in the world of social media, where you have to be so careful about what you say and so careful about what you do. Well, I want to share some ancient, timeless wisdom with you. Writings that are at least 4,000 years old. And they come from the Old Testament, a book called Proverbs, which is a book that is designed to teach wisdom. Let me just read a small section of it to you that'll help keep you out of trouble. It's the very beginning of the book of Proverbs in chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, the king of Israel, for attaining wisdom and discipline, for understanding words and insight, for acquiring a disciplined and prudent life. Don't we all want a prudent life, a disciplined life? Doing what is right and just and fair. Don't we want to do what is right and just and fair? Well, listen. For giving prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Don't you want to be a role model for your little brothers and friends that are younger than you? Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. For understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. All that means, guys, when it says the fear of the Lord, is not that you should be afraid of God as in hide under your bed. The fear of the Lord as the beginning of wisdom is simply to indicate that you recognize there is a higher power and a higher purpose to all of it, and that we are just here, and that we are accountable to our Maker for our words and actions. If you can agree to simply that, all religion aside, you understand that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and discipline. Think of the people you interact with. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. If you don't have a father, let God be your father. If you don't have a mother, let the Bible be your mother. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They will be a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, and this is so important in today's day and age, young men, my son, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, come along with us, let's lie in wait for someone's blood. Let's waylay some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive like the grave, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We will get all sorts of valuable things and fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot with us, and we will share a common purse. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their paths. For their feet rush into sin. They are swift to shed blood. How useless to spread a net in full view of all the birds. These men lie in wait for their own blood. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. They waylay only themselves. Such is the end of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the lives of those who get it. I know those are harsh words and that they're hard to hear. But men, you can make it. You got to have some core values. Every man's got to have a code. None of us are perfect, but if you can just live by one or two simple principles and start there and work your way up from there, you can eventually get to where you want to be. I'm not suggesting you do what I do. I have 4 values that I live by because my journey isn't like this. It's like this, and I'm always having to self-correct. So I live by 4 values: God, family, self-care, and education. And when I get lost or I don't know what to do or where to go, I make sure I'm right on those 4 things. I just get back to the basics of God, praying and reading scripture, family, calling my mom, calling my dad, checking in with my wife, making sure I've spent quality time with my children and that they're okay. God, family, self-care, taking a shower, making sure my mental health is right, making sure my emotions are in check and that my spirit's in check. God, family, self-care, and education. Read every day. Doesn't matter what it is. Just get your hands on some books. You see, I think of it like this, my friends. If I were to die tomorrow, what would I want people to say? I would want people to say I was the best father they had ever seen. I would want people to say he tried to earn his wife's respect every day. I would want people to say that he tried his best to take care of the property and vessel that God had given him. And fourth, that I tried my best to take care of the responsibilities that God had given me. That's just my story. That's what works for me. I'm a recovered addict. Obviously, I overeat. I'm not starving. So I've got my foibles too. I can curse like a sailor sometimes. Sometimes I make the wrong decisions. But that doesn't mean I'm failing as a Christian. It means I'm succeeding at one because I know where to turn. I turn to Jesus Christ and I beg forgiveness. And through grace and truth, my salvation is renewed each time in my mind. Hope that helps you a little bit, friend. The book of Proverbs is a great place to look for wisdom in an age where there's not a lot out there for young men who need help and guidance. Talk to you next time.